Hello, I'm Maya. I live by the sea, and it's my favorite place to be. Every day I wake up to the sound of waves on the shore and seagulls in the sky. My house is near the beach, and that's where I spend most of my time, playing in the sand, collecting seashells, and exploring the cliffs. I love being near the ocean. There's something special about it that makes me happy. The salty breeze, the warm sun, and the endless blue water make me feel alive. But what I love the most is helping the animals that live on the beach. I have a strong connection with animals, especially those who live by the sea. When I see a crab or a seagull in trouble, I feel sorry for them and want to help. Whether it's saving a fish from a tide pool or taking care of a hurt seabird, I'm always ready to lend a hand. My friends sometimes tease me for spending so much time with the sea creatures, but I don't mind. Helping animals makes me happy. They're like my friends too. Even though they can't talk, I know they're grateful when they look at me. So, that's me, Maya, the girl who lives by the sea and loves exploring the beach and helping animals. And I wouldn't want it any other way. One sunny morning, I skipped along the sandy shore, my bare feet sinking into the soft grains with each step. The rhythmic sound of waves crashing against the shore filled the air, a soothing melody that accompanied my stroll. As I wandered, the cry of a distressed seagull pierced the tranquility. Curiously, I followed the sound, my eyes scanning the area until I spotted a lone seagull perched on a rock, its white feathers ruffled and its beak open in distress. Concern etched across my face. I approached slowly, not wanting to frighten the injured bird. "What's wrong, little guy?" I knelt beside the seagull, my voice gentle as I extended a hand, careful not to startle it further. The seagull glanced at me with wary eyes, its injured wing held close to its body. "I hurt my wing," it squawked weakly, a hint of pain evident in its voice. "Oh no, poor thing," I said, my heart sinking at the sight of the injured wing. "Let me take a look." With delicate fingers, I examined the seagull's wing, noting the way it held it at an awkward angle. "It looks like you've hurt it pretty badly," I said softly, my brow furrowing with concern. The seagull nodded, a glimmer of gratitude in its eyes. "I can't fly," it admitted, its voice tinged with sadness. "Don't worry," I reassured, offering a comforting smile. "I'll help you." Gently, I scooped up the injured seagull, cradling it in my arms as I stood. "Let's get you some help," I said, determination shining in my eyes. Together, the seagull and I set off along the shore, the sound of the waves our constant companion. With each step, I whispered words of encouragement to the injured bird, promising to find someone who could mend its wing. As we walked, I couldn't help but feel a sense of responsibility wash over me. I knew I couldn't fix the seagull's wing myself, but I was determined to find someone who could. And with that thought in mind, I pressed onward, my heart filled with hope for the injured bird I had befriended on the shore. As I cradled the injured seagull in my arms, determination etched into my features, I embarked on a quest to find help. With each step along the beach, my heart pounded with urgency. The seagull's soft cries echoed in my ears, spurring me forward. Approaching a group of beachgoers, my voice trembled with urgency as I explained the seagull's plight. "Can anyone help? This seagull is hurt," I implored. The beachgoers exchanged uncertain glances, sympathy evident in their eyes. "Sorry, we don't know what to do," one of them admitted, shaking their head apologetically. Disappointment weighed heavy on my shoulders as I thanked them and continued my search. I approached more people, my voice filled with hope, but each encounter ended in the same result: a shake of the head, a murmured apology. Hours passed as I tirelessly sought assistance, my determination unwavering despite the growing sense of despair. With each rejection, my will only strengthened. I couldn't give up on the seagull; it was counting on me. Finally, as the sun dipped toward the horizon, I spotted the elderly woman from the shack up ahead. With a flicker of hope, I quickened my pace. the injured seagull cradled protectively in my arms. "Please," I called out as I approached the woman, desperation evident in my voice. "Can you help? This seagull needs you." The woman's expression softened as she recognized me and the injured bird, but instead of offering immediate help, she shook her head sadly. "I'm sorry, dear," she said softly. "I wish I could, but I don't know how." My heart sank, disappointment washing over me once more. With a heavy sigh, I thanked the woman and continued on my way, the weight of my failure pressing down on me like the relentless tide. Despite the setbacks, I refused to abandon hope. I would keep searching, keep fighting for the seagull's sake. I knew that sometimes the greatest adventures were born from the most unexpected challenges, and I was determined to see this one through to the end. As I trudged along the shore, the weight of disappointment heavy on my shoulders, I couldn't help but feel defeated. Despite my best efforts, I hadn't been able to find anyone willing to help the injured seagull. With each rejection, my hope dwindled, but I refused to give up. The seagull was counting on me, and I was determined to see this through. Lost in my thoughts, I nearly stumbled over a weathered net sprawled across the sand. Looking up, I spotted an old fisherman mending his nets under the shade of a weather-beaten umbrella. His face was creased with wrinkles, and his eyes twinkled with a warmth that drew me closer. "Excuse me, sir," I said tentatively, approaching the fisherman. "I'm trying to find help for an injured seagull. Do you know anyone who can help?" The fisherman glanced up from his work, a kindly smile spreading across his weathered face. "Ah, you've come to the right place, lass," he said in a gravelly voice. "I'm Captain Finn, and I've seen my fair share of injured critters in my time." My heart leaped with hope at Captain Finn's words. "Oh, thank you, Captain Finn," I exclaimed. "Do you know where we can find help for the seagull?" Captain Finn nodded, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "Aye, I do indeed. I may know a few folks who could lend a hand." Relief flooded through me as Captain Finn offered his assistance. With newfound determination, I thanked him profusely before setting off with the injured seagull cradled gently in my arms. Captain Finn walked beside me, offering words of encouragement as we made our way along the shoreline. "I appreciate your kindness, Captain Finn," I said, gratitude swelling in my chest. "It's no trouble at all, lass," Captain Finn replied with a nod. "Helping creatures in need is what we fishermen do best." As we continued our journey along the shore, Captain Finn regaled me with stories of his adventures on the sea. With each tale, I found myself feeling lighter, the weight of the injured seagull's plight momentarily lifted from my shoulders. Finally, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Captain Finn led me to a secluded cove where a small group of fishermen had set up camp. With Captain Finn's help, we found a seasoned sailor named Old Jack, who had a reputation for his skills in mending injured birds. Old Jack took one look at the seagull and shook his head sadly. "I'm sorry, lass," he said, his voice heavy with regret. "These wings are beyond repair. There's nothing I can do." Disappointment washed over me like a wave crashing against the shore. Despite our efforts, it seemed that the injured seagull's fate was sealed. But I refused to give up hope. With Captain Finn by my side, I knew that together we would find a way to help the seagull, no matter what it took. As I walked along the shore with Captain Finn by my side, hope flickered within me. With his guidance, I felt reassured that together we would find the help the injured seagull desperately needed. "Captain Finn," I said, breaking the silence between us, "where do you think we should look for help?" Captain Finn paused, scanning the coastline ahead. "There's a small wildlife rehabilitation center not too far from here. They specialize in caring for injured animals and might be able to help our feathered friend." Heartened by his suggestion, we quickened our pace, the seagull cradled gently in my arms. As we approached the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, I could see the sign with a picture of a seagull on it, marking our destination. I knocked on the door, my heart racing with anticipation. Moments later, a volunteer greeted us with a warm smile. "How can I help you today?" she asked kindly. "We found an injured seagull," I explained, "and we're hoping you might know how to help." The volunteer's eyes softened with compassion as she examined the injured bird. "Poor thing," she murmured. "Let's bring it inside and see what we can do." With the help of the volunteers at the center, we carefully carried the seagull inside. The atmosphere was bustling with activity, with volunteers tending to various animals in need. "We found this seagull in need of help," Captain Finn explained to the volunteers. "Can you assist?" "Of course," the volunteer replied. "We'll do everything we can to help." With gentle hands, the volunteers took the injured seagull from my arms and carried it to the examination room. I watched anxiously as they examined the bird, their skilled hands working to ease its pain. After what felt like an eternity, one of the volunteers emerged from the examination room with a reassuring smile. "The seagull's injury isn't too severe," she announced. "With some rest and care, it should make a full recovery." Relief flooded through me like a warm ocean breeze. Thanks to the kindness of Captain Finn, we found our way to the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, where the injured seagull would receive the care it needed. As we bid farewell to the center and made our way back to the shore, I knew that I had been a part of something truly special, an adventure of compassion and friendship that had made a difference in the life of a creature in need. As we continued our journey along the shore, a bond began to form between Captain Finn and me. Despite our differences in age and background, we shared a common goal: to help the injured seagull. But as the days passed, I realized that our connection ran deeper than that. "Captain Finn," I said one morning as we strolled along the sandy beach, "can you tell me more about the sea?" Captain Finn smiled at my eagerness, pleased to share his knowledge with me. "Of course, lass," he replied. "The sea is a vast and wondrous place, full of mysteries and beauty." My eyes sparkled with curiosity as I listened intently to his stories of life on the ocean. He told me about the creatures that inhabited the depths, from playful dolphins to majestic whales. He described the rhythm of the tides and the ever-changing moods of the sea. But as he spoke, I realized that I wasn't just interested in learning about the sea. I was hungry for knowledge about life itself. "Tell me, Captain Finn," I said one evening as we sat by the fire, "what's the most important lesson you've learned from the sea?" Captain Finn paused, reflecting on all the years he had spent on the water. "The sea has taught me many things," he began, "but perhaps the most important lesson is this: to respect the power of nature and to always be mindful of our place within it." I nodded thoughtfully. His words resonate deeply within me. "That's a valuable lesson, Captain Finn," I said. "Thank you for sharing it with me." As the days turned into weeks, Captain Finn and I grew closer, our friendship deepening with each passing moment. We shared stories and laughter, and I found myself opening up to him in ways I hadn't with anyone else. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle overhead, I turned to Captain Finn with a smile. "Captain Finn," I said softly, "I'm grateful for your friendship. You've taught me so much about the sea and life." He returned my smile, feeling a warmth spread through his chest. "And I'm grateful for you, lass," he replied. "You've reminded me of the beauty and wonder of the world, and for that, I'll always be thankful." As we sat together in companionable silence, listening to the gentle lapping of the waves against the shore, I knew that I had found a kindred spirit in Captain Finn, and as long as we had each other, I knew that life's adventures would always be sweeter and more meaningful. As I walked into the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, a sense of both sadness and relief washed over me. The time had come to say goodbye to the injured seagull, but I knew it was for the best. The volunteers had done everything they could to help the bird recover, and now it was time for it to return to the wild. I approached the enclosure where the seagull had been staying, my heart heavy with emotion. The bird looked stronger than when I had first found it, its wing carefully bandaged and its eyes bright with vitality. "Hello, little friend," I said softly, crouching down beside the enclosure. "It's time for you to go back home." The seagull cocked its head to one side as if understanding my words. It let out a soft squawk, and I couldn't help but smile. "You'll be back where you belong soon," I reassured the bird, "and I'll never forget the time we spent together." As I watched the seagull flap its wings eagerly, I knew that it was ready to return to the freedom of the open skies. With a final farewell, I left the center, feeling a sense of contentment knowing that I had helped a creature in need. Walking home, I couldn't shake the feeling of joy that filled my heart. Despite the challenges I had faced in helping the seagull, I learned so much along the way. I learned about the power of compassion and the importance of never giving up, even when the odds seem stacked against you. As I reflected on my journey, I realized that the seagull had taught me more than I could have ever imagined. It taught me about resilience and strength, the beauty of nature, and the interconnectedness of all living things. Arriving home, I greeted my family with a smile, eager to share my experiences with them. As I recounted the story of the injured seagull and my journey to help it, I could see the admiration in their eyes. "You've done a wonderful thing, Maya," my mother said, pulling me into a tight hug. "I'm so proud of you." I beamed with pride, feeling a sense of accomplishment wash over me. Helping the seagull had been a challenge, but it had also been an incredible adventure, one that had taught me more about myself and the world around me than I could have ever imagined. As I settled into bed that night, a feeling of peace washed over me. The seagull may have flown away, but its memory will always remain with me, a reminder of the power of compassion and the beauty of the natural world. And as I drifted off to sleep, I knew that I would carry the lessons I had learned with me for the rest of my life. The end? Here are 10 English words or phrases from the story, along with examples from the text and real-life usage to help English learners. 1. Seaside. Explanation. Refers to the area or region near the sea or ocean. Example from the text: "I live by the sea, and it's my favorite place to be." Real-life usage. "We're planning a vacation at a seaside resort next summer." 2. Injured. Explanation. Refers to suffering physical harm or damage to the body. Example from the text: "The volunteer's eyes softened with compassion as she examined the injured bird." Real-life usage. "She was injured in a car accident and had to spend weeks in the hospital." 3. Compassion. Explanation. A feeling of deep sympathy and concern for the suffering of others. Example from the text: "The volunteer's eyes softened with compassion as she examined the injured bird." Real-life usage. Her compassion for animals led her to volunteer at the local shelter every weekend. 4. Friendship. Explanation. Mutual bond and affection shared between individuals who care for each other. Example from the text: "As the days turned into weeks, Captain Finn and I grew closer, our friendship deepening with each passing moment." Real-life usage. Their friendship began in elementary school and has lasted through all these years. 5. Rescue. Explanation. Saving someone or something from danger or harm. Example from the text: "Maya's Seaside Rescue, a tale of compassion and friendship." Real-life usage. The firefighters conducted a daring rescue to save the family trapped in the burning building. 6. Injury. Explanation. Physical harm or damage to the body. Example from the text: "The volunteer's eyes softened with compassion as she examined the injured bird." Real-life usage. He suffered a serious injury while playing soccer and had to undergo surgery. 7. Adventure. Explanation. Exciting or daring experience involving exploration and challenges. Example from the text: "Arriving home, I greeted my family with a smile, eager to share my experiences with them. As I recounted the story of the injured seagull and my journey to help it, I could see the admiration in their eyes." Real-life usage. They embarked on an adventure to climb the highest mountain in the region. 8. Rehabilitation. Explanation. Process of restoring health and well-being after injury or illness. Example from the text: As we approached the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center, I could see the sign with a picture of a seagull on it, marking our destination. Real-life usage. After his knee surgery, he underwent rehabilitation to regain strength and mobility. 9. Volunteer. Explanation. Someone who offers their time or skills to help others without payment. Example from the text. With the help of the volunteers at the center, we carefully carried the seagull inside. Real-life usage. She volunteers at the local soup kitchen every Saturday to help feed the homeless. 10. Enclosure. Explanation. Area enclosed or confined by barriers, often used for containment or protection. Example from the text. I approached the enclosure where the seagull had been staying, my heart heavy with emotion. Real-life usage. The zookeeper opened the enclosure to allow visitors to see the lions up close. From the story, readers can learn important things. 1. Being kind to animals is good. 2. It's important to help animals when they are hurt. 3. Friendship is important. 4. Even if something is difficult, it's good to try to help. 5. Sometimes we need help from others. 6. It's nice to spend time with people who teach us new things. 7. Nature is beautiful and worth protecting. 8. It's important to be grateful for the help we receive. 9. We should never give up, even when things are hard. 10. Helping others makes us feel happy. The story. Maya's Seaside Rescue, a tale of compassion and friendship, is written at an English level. A1 due to the following reasons. Simple and straightforward language. The story uses everyday vocabulary and basic sentence structures that are easy for beginners to understand. For example, phrases like helping animals, injured bird, and seaside rescue are expressed in clear, simple language. Clear and concise storytelling. The plot follows a straightforward sequence of events, making it easy for readers to follow along. Each action and consequence is presented logically, without unnecessary complexity. Limited complexity. Complex grammatical structures and abstract concepts are avoided, ensuring that the story remains accessible to English learners at the A1 level. Sentences are kept short and simple, with straightforward descriptions of events. Familiar themes. The story revolves around universal themes such as kindness, compassion, and friendship, which are relatable to learners at the A1 level. Readers can easily connect with Maya's desire to help animals and her journey to find assistance for the injured seagull. Minimal use of idiomatic expressions. Idioms and figurative language are kept to a minimum, allowing readers to focus on understanding literal meanings. Instead, clear and direct language is used to convey the story's message effectively. This story and voiceover have been provided by English Made Easy. Learn through stories. Copying or re-uploading is strictly prohibited.